Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm going to start my speech with a question. Which one is better? Doing the right thing or doing the good thing? I give you 5 seconds to decide your choice. No? What is your answer? I believe most of you still cannot decide. Don't worry about it. I still could not decide myself. Do you know why it is difficult for us to choose between the two options that I just mentioned to you just now? Because the question is not really about what we decide to choose, but it is about whether or not we have strong morality inside us. Because the question is not really about what we decide to choose, but it is about whether or not we have strong morality inside us. My name is Tamara Amalia, and today I would like to deliver my speech about moral education, specifically about several ideas that we can use to implement moral education at school. Ladies and gentlemen, before I talk about my ideas on how we can possibly implement moral education in our school, I would like to tell you what I have in my mind about moral and moral education. When we talk about morality, I don't think there is a fixed definition about it. Morality for me is not only about right or wrong, but it is also about whether or not something that we do is kind or good. If you really on this definition, there will be a question in your mind. The question is what is good and what is not? What is the basis for us to tell whether an action is kind or not? Well, that is just how difficult it is for us to define morality. For me, morality is not about a definition from dictionary, because the only thing that can help us to tell whether something is good or not is heart. And as much as we want to believe that the heart is a pure thing, we have to admit that it is also influenced by various external concepts that is exposed to us over and over again. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means that the heart can be corrupt if it is exposed to negative concepts repeatedly. Looking at this condition as the place where children spend most of their time, the school surely holds responsibility to take part in their character building. And in this case, it is through moral education. I have several ideas on how we may be able to implement moral education at our school easily. The first one is to start the day by praying or doing something to remember the God. I believe that our parents have introduced us to the concept of good since we were kids. That's why I also believe that we know that we are actually accountable for everything that we do in our life. This might sound like a simple concept for us, but the fact is that if we don't try to keep remembering it, sometimes we can just forget that we are accountable for our action and do anything that we like carelessly. If we start our day at school by praying, we will remember that God is watching our acts so that we will try to our best and behave ourselves towards each other. A leading trainer and also a writer of many books related character building, Ilmu Komunikasi proven this to be true. Around 5 years ago, he started a kindergarten. Since that day, one of the opening as the owner of kindergarten, he asked all people in the school to pray to him. I thought that the student, the staff, and also the teacher become calmer and ease in doing their activity at the school. As the result, in less than 5 months, he managed to open 5 branches of kindergarten with the same concept. This act cost us nothing to implement in our school, it means that we have nothing to lose if we want to give it a shot. We just have to be willing to do it together. The second one is to make the first hour on the school to be the time for all students to work together and clean the classroom and its environment. The cleaning process is not merely taking out the garbage, but also sweeping and mopping the floor, cleaning the window, and put everything in the classroom in order and make it look tidy. This activity will make the student to be disciplined, especially in their keeping their environment clean. They will also learn how important cooperation is. Hopefully, through this activity, the student will appreciate their environment and other people more. This kind of activity has been implemented in Japan. The results show that their students become more appreciative towards others and also their environment. It is because they finally learn from their own experience that keeping an area clean is not as easy as it may look. It took effort and cooperation to do so, and since they are doing this activity every day, it becomes a part of them. The third one is to say greeting to all teachers when they first arrive at school and also when they want to go home in the afternoon. This activity will grow a deeper connection between teachers and students. Because just like the word says, to get closer to someone, you need conversation. And the shortest conversation is greeting. I believe this is so true. Because if we really want to think about it, how can we really get closer to our teacher if we never even talk to them or greet them? I think that's all for me. I hope you find something useful from my speech. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.